I think it's Overtaker. With that start.
Yeah, I think it has to be. Yeah, I think it has to be. Still no audio. Apologies. We've just got the audio unmuted now. I'm not sure what happened there at all. I'm not going to press the calendar again, but yeah, something did not work with that. And either way,
there's been an update for Streamlabs while you've been live.
Not a clue. If there has, brilliant. But either way, we're back live now. Hopefully you can hear us in the chat and everybody is back. Apologies for what happened there. Please now smash the like button on this one, because now we need the likes once more. Club was saying we wanted the double likes. We are back though, so Matt Wright on the back of Ian McGowan. Apologies to those who missed it, but Skunky then, if you're just tuning in, has missed the pit window due to waiting for Danny. Went the extra lap but missed it by seconds. I did say while we was off air to Phil that looks tight when he came in. Well, that is going to do Dan the world of good. But it's Lexus 1, Lexus 2 from McGowan, Matt Wright, Julius Rasmussen, then Overtaker, Pedro Viana from Fraser O'Brien. That's a close little fight there. Jamal Clouden from Blackmore. Good stop from Blackmore. He was running last. He's now up to 10th.
Yeah, very good stop by Blackmore.
Mike Matthews and Paolo, we believe, changed tyres as well. So that is why they are quite a way down the grid. But you have to feel a little bit, don't you, for Skunky there.
Yeah, it's absolutely gutting. You can feel that. It's happened to everybody sometimes. You just miss the window.
And because of that contact with Dan, you know, that little bit of time he waited for him, that's what's cost it.
Yeah, it could be worse though. Your wheel could die, or your pad goes off and you crash into the pit wall at Silverstone, eh, Matt?
Ben's on the back of Ed Blackmore here. Ignore that comment. Skunky did not pit now. Yeah, it was funny. It was quite funny. I lost the race win because that to De Silva. Still got second, so it was all right. Ben's on the back of Ed Blackmore here. They're trying to get in on Clouden as well. Clouden doesn't seem to have much since pitting. So, interesting.
It's like the Merc has just died, or if he didn't change tyres, it's now hurting him.
Yeah, it's possibly hurting him as well. Rob Smith in the chat, I guess that the incident was Skunky's fault, so it's not like Dan caused it and Skunky gets the penalty. Exactly that, Rob. And Chloe Davis saying, go, Dan, go.
But there's a lot of what ifs in real world racing and sim racing. So the cars may not be real, but the racing is. I think Jimmy Broadbent actually says that, your best mate.
Yeah. No, I don't mind Jimmy Broadbent. He's all right.
He does a lot for Mind, you know.
He did his 23-hour race last weekend, didn't he?
Last weekend, and I was watching most of it. Yeah, and he raised, with gift aid, over £105,000
brilliant,
for Mind.
We raised over £1,000 for cancer research, and that was a mega effort. Back on Project Course 2.
Yeah, and the race did have a certain. Well, Max
Verstappen. Max Verstappen in there. Yeah, and he took part in it, and I think that's the second time he's taken part in it.
And so he didn't rage quit it this time. He actually came onto the TeamSpeak, and you could hear him talking. And he was laughing about the penalties they were given.
This is looking back from Ben here. See Clouden just in front with Ed Blackmore as well. Down into the final 18 minutes of this race. Mike Matthews getting closer to the back of Paolo. Mike saying he had no grip.
Did he put an old set of tyres on?
I'm wondering if he did at the start of this race, you know, because that no grip after 20 minutes. Either that or it's the way his car set up, because, you know, he'd only gone 8 minutes longer than the sprint race, so it baffles me.
I reckon he had an old set of tyres on, because it's easily done.
Yeah, it is indeed. Just interesting, isn't it? Absolutely interesting. That
I'm sure we'll hear all about it later, Matt.
Oh, more than likely so, yeah. Chris, I've just realised there's no other BSP. Nope, no BSP again. Not been here tonight. Ben has been the one that has been carrying the flag this season for the BSP team. I will admit that. Ben has done a good job carrying the flag for them.
I think Ben needs a pay rise in BSP.
Oh, massively. Ben's been the one who's done the bulk of the work for them this season. Max had a good season when he's been here. I think Max has got a new job, and that's the problem for Max at the moment. As for Tim and Tibbs, not quite sure. But Ben has done a cracking job once again. Matt Wright's gaining on the back of Rasmussen. Rasmussen, since the pit stops, by the way, is up to 4th. So he's had a great second half of this race.
Well, I reckon he would have been up there in race 1 if...
Yeah, wheel.
It had to be hardware failure.
Yeah, massively.
Because how that car went straight on, it's like something jammed on. Like a real car.
Yeah, is indeed. That wasn't just because of his error. That was definitely due to a problem. But Matt Wright up there. O'Brien, where's O'Brien? Because he was span around earlier in the race.
He's right behind
He's up to 8th. He's up to 8th. So O'Brien's had a good comeback as well, to be fair, Phil.
Yeah, he's had a great, I believe, Taker's in no man's land. He's all by himself.
8 seconds off the back of Matt Wright, but 5 seconds in clear of this fight. So going to be an interesting one. We've obviously got Ben behind Blackmore, Gary Leach kind of in no man. I say in no man's land. No, he's not. He's got Patrick Ledger just past him, and he's now got Skunky right behind him. And then he's got a big gap back to Paolo. Here comes Skunky, then looking to go up the inside of Gary Leach. And through he goes. These two are coming together in race 2 GT4s the other day. Skunky's now got past him. Mike's within 6/10 of Paolo. Fraser O'Brien's within 2/10 of Pedro Viana, who's just had a little twitch, and that's going to allow Fraser O'Brien to have a look up the inside now. No, backs out of that one. He's got to go again in turn 5, but still can't find a way through.
He's alongside now.
Yeah, that's job done, because when you're up the inside here, you're pretty much going to get it done. It's hard to go around the outside, and yeah, Vienna backs out of that one. So what's Matt Wright? Matt Wright starts to challenge Rasmussen hard. Overtakers what? It was over 8 seconds. It's 8.6. If they start to fight hard, that could bring Overtaker back into this. Here's Ben. There's Cloud, and you see the O'Brien and Vienna battle.
Slap.
Oh. So in a dismal day, he's took a point off Dan at least.
That's all he can do now, because he's got to get 130-second penalty for crossing the line from the game for probably just being a millisecond out of a pit window. I'll tell you what though, Harris contender of the driver of the day as well. He's been up there, hasn't he? Well, race 1 wasn't as good because of the bit of contact. But race 2, so far quite strong in second. Second and a half in front of McGowan. Yeah, I don't think Wright's catching Rasmussen quick enough, really, to...
No, I don't think he's... In fact, if anything, he's dropped off the back. Sorry, he was just doing the driver of the day poll there. I think Wright's dropped off the back of Rasmussen. Rasmussen getting close to McGowan here. Driver of the day poll has gone out. Harris, O'Brien, Rasmussen or Dan Davis. If you disagree with any of them, please comment in the chat who you think should get the vote for driver of the day, or get your vote for driver of the day. As we'll wait to see what's going to happen in the back end of this race. And 14 minutes left to go. Closest fight on track is that one of Ben. The AC in the background, there's Skunky and Ledger. They've dropped Gary already, by the way. Mike's still sat behind Paolo.
Yeah, Mike can't get past Paolo.
He struggled in this race too, compared to race 1 massively.
You imagine if we got Ripper back on, if he bought a PS5. De Silva. Even like guys like Danlick, Louis Allen, and if he thought Gary's
got a drive through for track limits. So when you just thought that your race 2 couldn't get any worse, it just has.
Yeah. If some of them drivers came back, that'd be fantastic if they did, wouldn't it?
Absolutely mega to see some of them back on the grid. It really
I
would.
still have that saved, that pass De Silva did on Fury into the first chicane at Monza. As a clip on my Twitch. It is such a good pass that was.
It was beautiful. Round the outside into turn 1, if I remember rightly.
Yeah. So it shows you can overtake there and not make contact.
Mike still slidey through these final couple of corners here. At Ferrari's not happy. Rasmussen's within a second of McGowan now, and Matt Wright's just under a second to Rasmussen, so... Oh no, it's just gone back over. But I tell you what, these 3 for the final podium spot, this could get interesting.
It could be getting spicy, couldn't it?
100%. Gary's in for his drive-through. I mean, Gary's probably still going to finish ahead of Skunky. That's the bad thing about Skunky's penalties. Gary's still probably going to finish ahead of him. Ben's got Ledger and Skunky now on the back, so Ben just cannot pass Blackmore, and now he's got the 2 Ferraris on the back of him. So, no matter where you look, there's drama.
But not chaos, for once.
Ultimate Race has gone the way of Gowney for driver of the day. Solid performance, race 1 and so far race 2. Good shout, to be fair. It's a shame YouTube only let you have a list of 4, because I think Gowney would have been on there, as well as probably Ledger for his race 1 performance.
Dear YouTube, can we have polls with at least 10 drivers?
6.
10 choices.
I think 6. At times, I think you could do with another 1 or 2.
Tell you what, I think Harris isn't out clear of second yet, because McGowan and...
Nowhere. 2 seconds is the gap. There is no
11
way
minutes.
he's clear.
Dan's lost a little tiny bit of time, though. But not much. But there's still, 3/10 he lost.
We're watching the fight with Ben and Patrick Ledger at the moment. Patrick's on the back of Ben here as they come through the final corner. This could be Ledger trying to get ahead of Ben then. Down the start straight, there you go. Ben's been a bit under the weather, Chris was saying earlier in the stream. Ben's looks like he's really struggling to keep heating the tyres. So to keep heating the tyres, that surprises me as Ledger goes up the inside and Ben loses out yet another place. Hypertech, I'm giving mine to Clouden after the start of the season he's had. He's done well also today. Good race 1, not as good race. He seems to have dropped off a bit in race 2. I think for me that's why I didn't put Clouden in that list, because I think he's just tailed off a bit in race 2. That's been his problem.
He was up there though until the pit stop, so...
Yeah. The pit stop seemed to have killed him at the moment. Oh, Skunky's had a moment. There's now Ledger's grid side by side with Blackmore. That one ends as well. Mike and Paolo.
Skunky's stationary. Is that going to be what I think it's going to be?
Ed is a nightmare to follow. Always seems to get the car in the right place, says Rob Smith in the chat. Skunky has pulled over. We'll keep our eyes on that. Just further up the pack then. Overtake has gained on Matt Wright a little bit, but nothing major.
What was it? 8 seconds about.
Oh, there's a Gork on deep. That is Ledger deep. Blackmore gets back through. Rasmussen now right on the back of McGowan, Phil.
Yeah, so it's all on. Battle of the Ferraris. Wright's definitely been dropped. And Harris is doing enough to keep in front of these two.
Yeah, I think if Rasmussen gets through, he's going to have a bit of work on his hands.
Yeah. I think Dan's managing the gap now.
Yeah, he doesn't need to do anything more, does he? 9.5 seconds, 9 minutes 30. Sorry.
Unfortunately, not here because of his wheelbase dying again. Skunky's at the back, unfortunately, as well. Dan could, but you don't want to lift off too much because that's when you can make a mistake again.
Yeah, massively. So we'll keep our eyes
times I've done that
on this at the moment.
But Harris, so really good drive by Harris.
Yeah, I enjoyed this from Harris. He seems to be getting to grips with that Lexus a little bit. He's 4th in the championship, so this will pull him closer to Skunky and O'Reilly. To gap him a bit more from McGowan as well to cement a top 5 place in this championship. Obviously, we get into that point of the season, Phil, where as we tick off these numbers on our little spreadsheet we have, numbers start to appear red, and when they become red on that screen, that basically means that they cannot no longer win the championship. So, at the minute, there is no red numbers across all 3 nights of racing, but we're getting to a point, we look at Verkrashen, he can now come next week, depending on what Dan scores obviously tonight, come next week, Verkrashen won't be in the championship running, neither might Alex, neither might Richard Beasley, maybe even O'Brien. Obviously that depends on what Dan scores tonight, but come the end of next week, they could be eliminated from this championship running.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got hiccups.
Skunky's in the pits.
That's a return to pits as well. That's just before. It's after the 3/4 distance, but could still be a qualifying ban coming his way.
Yeah, Rasmussen's all over the back of McGowan.
The only thing I can think of is his shoppiness came early. He did put in the Discord earlier
yeah,
today.
He did.
Matt Wright was saying about moving it for the football. He was like, no, and then Like if we just move it a little bit, Skunky went, I've got a shop coming at 10:30. It is 10:05, so if his shop's come early, he's probably had to go and get that.
That's true. And then if you've got frozen stuff, you've got to put it away.
Gotta get it straight away. Yeah, exactly. So he's got a shop coming at 10:30. Reason for retirement. Tesco's turned up 25 minutes early. Ah, what a bugger. You know?
I think you'd let that one go.
Oh, you'd let that one go. Especially with, he's not done his pit stop. He's going to score points still. Here comes Rasmussen looking up the inside of McGowan. Get the hairpin. Great little move that from Rasmussen. Just goes a little deep on the exit. That's going to allow McGowan straight back through, though. And now he's going to look straight to the outside. Rasmussen's getting really racy at the moment. This could help Harris.
It could help Harris, relieve some of the pressure a bit now. And because they're battling, that might bring Wright back into it.
Massively so. Wright is there.
And that gap between Wright and Overtaker's opened back out again.
Yeah, it's opened up to over 8.4. I wonder if Overtaker's just content with taking that piece. It's a great race from Overtaker this second race, 16th to 6th. Really good for him.
Start.
Yeah, got past 4 or 5 cars. It was really good to see. Here comes Rasmussen once again, looking into turn 1, backs out of that. Let's just drop back down the order a second. Blackmore's on ledger, or was on ledger. Then there's Ben just behind. Mike still can't pass Paolo. I think we're going to keep with this McGowan fight. This is the one to watch. 3.6 now to Harris. So already Harris just extending that gap a little bit.
5.3 to Dan.
Yeah, has Dan tyres just gone off?
Or is Dan just managing it?
Jamie says no excuse, throw him in jail. That's come from the guy that couldn't finish a season a couple of seasons ago, kept pulling out. You know what I mean? And that wasn't free shopping.
Yes, it was the F1 seasons.
Jamie Brazier will have to get in touch soon about Donington, probably. No doubt you'll be there in April. Looking forward to that. Might be at the British GT in April as well, at the very beginning of April. See that lovely Corvette.
Oh,
and the 296.
296 is going to be next year as well.
Have a look at that. And the Porsche 992, because I didn't get to see that one, because it came late.
I think I saw it when they got to Snap, didn't I? I can't remember. I need to go through my photos.
Matt Wright's back here now. Then McGowan's just dropped a wheel into the gravel, but at a part of the track where it's easy to defend. When's Jamie Brazier getting a PS5? That's what I want to know.
Well, yeah, there'll be plenty of standard PS5s being traded in now.
He says his name is at Mazda. He pulled out 2 seasons of ACC, did Jamie? When you getting a PS5, Jamie? When you making a return?
Be really cheap. Yeah. Normal ones be cheap now because everyone's got to waste £700 buying a PS5 Pro.
Or get an Xbox, they're even cheaper.
Series S, yeah.
Jamie back out on the grid. If Kaylee will let him. My BTCC tickets on order from Robo, sorry. Who Dan told me the other day he's had heart surgery. Open heart surgery, so yeah. Which one are you heading to, Chris, this year? Are you back at Thruxton, or are you at a different circuit?
I know what one I'll be at. Kind of hoping to build a hotel by then. So yeah, Dan 5 seconds in front.
Yeah, we're still watching this McGowan-Rasmussen fight.
They are fighting, and that's really helping Harris pull away.
Yeah, 3.9 now, so it's not massive from Harris, but it's been just enough.
Taker's now 9.5 off the back of Wright.
Yeah, so he's settled, I think. I think he's content to finishing where he is. Whoa, McGowan squeezes Rasmussen off. That was a squeeze, but, that's all fair in love and war, that one. I've got no problems with that.
I've been a Castle Coombe. I've been to most British circuits, to be honest.
Dan made the trip up from Cornwall to Donington. We all met up at Donington, had kind of like a SimPlay meet and greet. Messy weekend.
I didn't because
no, I'm talking about when Dan went first time. It's going back 2 years. It was a messy weekend, and an opening for the drinks. Gary slipped in the mud and dropped his chips.
And his chips are probably still there.
Yeah, Thruxton, probably Donny. He offers me all the tracks. but way too much travel. Yeah, I understand that. If you are at Donny, Chris, hit me up and we'll try and have a meet up. We'll be there camping Friday till a Monday as always. Littlin will be there by then as well. Littlin will be at his first touring car event.
Don't say the name you wanted to give him.
I'm telling you, I'll say the name I want to do. His name will be Ayrton. That's what his name is.
No, the micro.
Oh, the Micro Grandad Automatic Motorsport 16.
Yeah, that one.
That one didn't get passed by the missus. Didn't pass its scrutineering. Nah, she settled on Dewey for that one. This is the battle for third place, though, between McGowan, Rasmussen and Matt Wright now on the back of this. Overtaker's still not getting close enough. Let's just drop back down to Ben. He's still behind Edward Blackmore. He's been following that car for quite a while. Mike Mathew, is also still behind Paolo.
Ben probably wishing he was back in the McLaren right now.
And let's look back to Rasmussen and Matt Wright. This is on board with Rasmussen at the moment on the back of McGowan. Michael Harris only 4.5 off the back of Dan, but Dan's going to be starting the final lap of the race this time around.
Yep, for one final tour around Catalonia. And then we stay in Spain next week and head to Valencia.
Yeah, if he's not dropping chips at Donington, he's getting burned to Knockhill. Not what you want to be seeing. Here comes Rasmussen and down the start straight on the back of McGowan. Pulls to that inside, does McGowan to defend it. Rasmussen on the outside line now as the camera pans back out. Rasmussen right around the outside of one. That is a lovely move around the outside. Rasmussen puts himself onto the podium here. What a job by the red Ferrari. Great little move.
Can he hold it for one lap as McGowan's he's still there?
Yeah, but he's also got to try and look at Matt Wright defending wise. That's his problem now. He's in a precarious position.
Yep. Skunky is circulating again, so if it is his Tesco shop and he's put it away.
Sadly, Chris, we can't do that. Harris did ask to change back to the BMW, and then we didn't allow Harris to change back. So Skunky is back out on tracks. That will not be a qualifying ban for him. I'm wondering now then, was it actually the shopping that came? And that's why Skunky had to return to the pits.
He pulled over because he heard a ding dong. It was like...
Right, here we go. Dan Davis gap down to 3.9. He's going to come round and he's going to once again take a race 2 win. Not a lot stopping Dan in race 2s this season. He's won 1-2. This will be the third race win. Dan's not actually won a race since Kyle Army. There you go. But Dan Davis rounds the final corner. It's going to be a race win for him. Back on the top step of the podium. Dan Davis takes the race win. Great stuff from him. Michael Harris, a great P2. Then down to the fight of Rasmussen, who got it done on the last lap. He takes P3. McGowan P4. Matt Wright P5. Overtaker coming to the line now in a decent result for him. Great second race drive from this man. Absolutely fantastic. P6. Fraser O'Brien P7. Pedro Viena is going to take P8. Clouden got a little closer to him at the end. Clouden 9th. Patrick Ledger will come across for P10. Edward Blackmore will hang in there over Ben for 11th and 12th. Paolo a little further back as Skunky finishes a lap down and then with that penalty but takes fastest lap. To the line then comes Paolo for 13th, Mike for 14th, and we just got a bit of a long wait for Gary Leach, but Mike not the second race he'd wanted. Pedro Viena was up in 8th as the sole BMW, not bad for him. Gary Leach is down in 15th place, as we know. Ben crossed the line P12. I'm just filling the results in on the spreadsheet. Paolo crossed the line 13th ahead of Mike. Mike just couldn't get past him in this one. Overtaker, great race for 6th place, Phil. That was fantastic from him.
Yeah, well, contender of the driver of the day, but well, shout out for the driver of the day as well for Overtaker and Clouden from his race 1, which boosted his confidence. As
well as Patrick Ledger as well. You know, he had a great race 1.
Yeah.
We are, though, going to head over to the Discord channel. Hopefully my microphone will work in there this time, and we'll get some driver interviews back in a moment. We now are in the commentary box for this afternoon's race. My microphone still isn't being picked up. unless you can all hear me at this moment in time. Just let me know in the chat if I am able to be heard at the moment.
Can anyone hear us?
Picked it up on the Discord this time. That's the bonus. As it picked it up on the Streamlabs, that's going to be the next one to find out. I'm not sure if it is picking me up on the Streamlabs or not. Let me know how quiet the microphone is. I'll just turn Phil up a bit now as well. Hopefully you can hear me, Phil.
Yep, I hear you.
Loud and
in my
clear.
headset.
Right then, here we go. Hopefully that is everybody picked up. We are joined in that commentary box by Michael Harris and by Dan Davis. Now, we will start with Michael Harris. And first of all, Michael, I have to apologise for keep calling the other Michael Harris last night on stream. Hopefully you don't trademark the name. But what a race for today. The Lexuses these last 2 weeks just seem to be growing on you now.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm not going to trademark my surname. Yeah, the Lexus, I don't know what's happened the past couple of weeks. It's just really killing us. Got a few tips and advice from Dan last week, which really helped. But this week I was well surprised with the pace of it. So I'm quite chuffed with both races, to be honest. Obviously race 1, little contact with, I think, Skunky, but it just seemed to charge back up through the field, so I was pretty chuffed with that. And again, this second race, it was just a case of manage the tyres, which I did. McGowan did keep us on my toes quite a bit, so I keep an eye on him, but he managed to get caught with another battle, so I managed to pull away. So yeah, it was a good race.
Yeah, managed to pull away at the end of that one. You was gaining on Dan as well, but a little too much to do at the end of that there. Valencia's next, obviously a completely different circuit to Catalonia, with it being a bit more of a bike circuit. What can you do around there in the Lexus? What do you hope to achieve from it?
Yeah, the gap between me and Dan towards the end. Wasn't expecting to kind of catch him the way I did. I think he was maybe just saving his tyres a little bit, I'm not too sure, but hopefully next time out at Valencia we can maybe try and get a bit closer. But with Valencia, it's not a track I've really driven a great deal, especially in like competitively with yourselves. So we'll just kind of see what happens on the day.
See what happens on the day, indeed. Any news at the moment on Richard? Obviously, we know there's been Xbox problems since the Xbox issue a few weeks ago. Any news on a return for Richard or anything? Or
no, not as of yet. I'm going to drop him a message probably tomorrow just to find out a bit more, see if we've got an ETA, because I am kind of missing him, and obviously the Lexus is performing well, so he needs to be part of it as well.
Well, Michael, congratulations tonight on that second place. Great race one from you as well. The chat has given you driver of the day, so congratulations.
Thanks, guys. See you at the next one.
Michael Harris there then in the commentary box. And we can speak then lastly with our race winner in race 2. And the first question I want to ask him is, have you been practicing your qualifying? Because all bar one, you have taken pole position this season. And in a season where you're having to up your level and your standards, that is going to give you a massive hand, isn't it, into this championship?
Yes, it is indeed. But I haven't really been practicing the qualifying too much. I've just been knowing what the pace that Kieran O'Reilly and Skunky have been doing, and it's just, if you're not doing that pace, you ain't going to stand a chance. And just nailing a nap, really, get a banker on the board and then just push a little bit further later on in the race, or in the qualifying session. So, I mean, I'm still shocked that only Kyalami was the only time I've not been on pole position. It is still shocked. I was expecting Skunky to have more pole positions than this, but I might have just edged him out each time. But it's wasn't practice. It's, if anything, I've been practicing my sprint races and feature races, if more than anything.
It was a good feature race for yourself, though. We spoke in between races there that the sprint, with the gap of the field being so close, you just couldn't seem to get through. The feature race, though, was a bit more your standard. Early pressure, though, from Skunky until a mistake. And he is keeping you, if it's not O'Reilly, it's Skunky keeping you on your toes.
Where I should have won Snet, I think Skunky should have won here. His car was much faster in the race. Yes, I could do it in qualifying, but his Ferrari was so strong in the brakes, especially in the final sector. I had no answer to him. So I'm not exactly sure what happened towards the end. I knew that when we came to the end of the feature race, towards the end of the pit window. We had to pit that lap, and obviously he gave me a tap round, and obviously I braked earlier and tried to turn in tighter than normal to get into the pit lane, so you don't cross the white line. And I don't think he quite anticipated that I was going in. I think he was going to try and do one more lap, but either way, if it was my fault, I apologise to him. It wasn't intentional to be that slow, but yeah, I mean, he's definitely really pushing me hard this season, and I can't make any mistakes, because if I do, he'll be there to capitalise.
We go to Valencia next week, Dan. The Circuit Ricardo Tormo.
Excuse me.
You're fine. A track that's had plenty of rain around with the floods and everything that's been happening in Valencia. With that weather at the moment looking a little sort of mixed as it stands in terms of the days that rain is on so far. It's going to be one eye sort of on the weather a little bit, isn't it? Because we just don't know what we're going to get, especially the later into this year we're getting. The weather's going to possibly, obviously at the moment it's been fine, but possibly play a factor. Yeah,
maybe. I really need to get a wet race under our belts, because I've not driven the Lexus in the wet, and I'm still waiting for that anticipation to drive a car in the wet. But until that moment, it's just anyone's guess. In the dry, I do think the Lexus is going to struggle at Valencia. It's a very fast-flowing circuit, and it understeers quite badly, and there's a lot of medium-speed corners, so don't expect the pace that you've been seeing. I think this is going to be the circuit where the Lexus will struggle, but just every week I will try my very best to try and keep on top of the rest of the guys and give everything that I have, because this championship is probably one of the hardest, and that first sprint race was just crazy. No one could make any movement, no one could move. It's just, that is the quality of this class at the minute. 16 cars, and all of us can be within a second of one another. It's absolutely mental, and I must praise all the drivers. We had a couple of incidents, but this pro class is just a very, very high quality grid, and I can't say more than that. They're just all brilliant at the minute, and I take my hat off to every driver.
Yeah, bit of cracking night. Dan, congratulations on tonight's second race victory. Phil, we move on to Valencia next week, where Dan Davis brings you the GT4 action. Myself and Dan are back for GT3's Pro-Am. Myself and you back for Pro. Final thoughts tonight, Phil, and your driver of the day.
I'm going to give mine to Harris, driver of the day. But shout out to Clouden and Taker. Because Overtaker's race start in race 2 was fantastic. With that 4 wide going into turn 1, that was like, ooh, this is going to be interesting. But yeah, we stay in Spain, and we maybe get a little bit of rain at Valencia, but goodbye Catalonia. Hello Valencia.
Yeah, indeed. I'm going to give mine the way of Fraser O'Brien. I think he had a cracking night, great second place, and a good second race as well. But like I say, honourable mentions to Harris, Dan, Patrick Ledger, Rasmussen, Overtaker, and to Cloud. And there's some noticeable drives this afternoon. Well, it's down to a 2-horse race in the manufacturers. We don't keep much of an eye on it, but it's down to a 2-horse race. Ginetta versus Ferrari. Who'd have guessed that at the beginning of the season? Dan Davis, 135 points in the clear from Skunky, with O'Reilly dropping down to P3. Michael Harris is up into P4 with McGowan 5. Matt Wright P6 with Jamal Clouden 7th. Overtaker back up into 8th with Pedro Viana. Mike Matthews is 10th with Michael Eckholt 11th. Ben 12th, Paolo 13th. Gary Leach up to 14th. Patrick Ledger just behind him. Emmanuel Machado, Max Mulder, Sebastian Wittstrup, Darren Yo, Ed Blackmore, Rasmussen, Schundelmeyer, Ventink, Diz, O'Brien, Max, Cosme, Beasley, Alex, and Max for crashing there. Then, in terms of that Constructors' Championship, it is 56 points. SimPlay Racing to the Red Line Junkies. They are keeping them honest from winning a 3rd championship in a row. Then it is the Naval Racing Team from Team FBR, Team SPR, Fat Bloke Bandits, BSP Racing, BSP Esports, Dan Seb Racing, Xbox Industries Racing, and the Greasy Bandits Racing. Don't forget, all results are provisional due to tickets, penalties, and that drop score that could come in. And there is only a couple of weeks left of the drop score. Now, that was week number 7. They end on week number 10. So there's only 3 weeks after the drop score for this season. So depending on what drivers do could impact that result. Apologies for the freeze on my Streamlabs software on the PC that caused us to jump to another stream. But thank you all for tuning in once again. We will see you in a week's time at Valencia. Goodbye.
Goodbye.